Christmas 2025. This will be the first setup video. We are going to be, I probably should put the windscreen on this microphone because of the ceiling fan running. We're going to be, hold on. A lot of people would cut this part out, but I'm going to leave it in because I don't have an editor nor a producer, and so this is the kind of junk you got to deal with. We're going to be putting up the Garland in here, so we got to put Garland on these beams and the Garland up here. Think about what to put up on this wall this year. I might put a couple of wreaths up there. I have a few pairs of wreaths that I quite like. That might be interesting. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to turn, I'm going to take two bulbs out of here so we can put the lights on. It's bright enough in here for me to see myself, but I suspect the video is probably kind of blurry. So I'm going to take one light out of here. And no, I can't use the wobbly stool because it's not tall enough in here. I'm going to take one bulb out of here. I'm going to have to get the ladder out because my knee is already telling me don't do this. Okay. All right, now we can put the lights on. Okay, so there's a point of aggravation here. Duh. Here's the point of aggravation. The first year I put the Garland up on the beams, I went around and I bought some adapters to convert the E26 socket to a plug. They looked like this except there was a plug on top. Nice small adapter, and it gave a good fit. Couldn't find them the second year, bought another pair. Couldn't find them the third year, bought another pair. Here we are in the fourth year and I can't find them again. There's still a slim chance they're in that box somewhere, but I vividly remember last year saying we're going to break the stupid cycle, because what happens is I would just go to the store and buy new ones because they only cost about $3, and it just is not worth the time to tear apart the entire house over $6. So I would just go back to the store and buy a new pair. And last year I said we're breaking that stupid cycle and I'm not going to lose them this year. Well, they're gone. Now, if they're not in there, I checked a couple other places. I looked through briefly, I didn't see them in there. I looked in the box of light bulbs, replacement spare light bulbs, they weren't in there. I looked in the box of two boxes of light duty extension cords and plug adapters and splitters, they weren't in there. I found these, so it was definitely the right product category in that box, but I don't know where they are, and I'm getting a little bit frustrated by it. So this year I might just use these. I actually had to go to the store earlier today, and I was going to buy, this is terrible, I was going to buy two of them, the things we're talking about, just preemptively because I had a bad feeling that they'd be gone, and I couldn't get them because the store was out of stock. So I don't really have an option here. I can't go buy new ones because they're out of stock. So kind of have to make this work with these. I think we're going to be able to, because these cans are pretty big. I think if I screw this on the inside, I should be able to get the light plugs in here, but they might not be long enough. So what we might have to do, we have to come over here with these busted up lights here, and kind of cut this part off to get an extension. You know, so like I'll cut this off here, and then I have a little extension cord, and I can just tack the plug on the other side and end up with about probably a good 18-inch extension, which should just be enough to make this work. This, I don't know where this came from. I guess we can put this on the door over here, so I can get annoyed by it every time I come and go. So this is pre-lit Garland, which has been 100% reliable thus far. I bought this new 4 years ago. This is Christmas number 4 on this stuff. So hopefully it's still kicking. Let's get a couple things off of the table here so we don't cause a freak show. We certainly have enough of those around here as it is. In years past, I've taken the lights down. I don't think I'm going to take them down this year. I like these lights. They're not an eyesore. Although the cobwebs inside them are. I think I'm just going to leave them, and I'll just unscrew the bulbs. The track is very cheap and flaky, and I don't want to keep messing with it. I feel like it's just going to cause issues. It's going to invite problems. So I think I'm going to leave it. It'll look fine. You know, these lights look nice. The Garland will be fine up there with the lights. I'm not worried about it. So both the plugins have to be over here, and then it goes over. I think it loops 1, 2, 3. I think it loops about 3 times. I'm gonna get a different. This is a little bit too tall to be going up and down on all the time. Let's see, this chair will work. I'm actually kind of glad I didn't replace the ceiling fan yet, because it's always a nuisance. It gets in the way doing this. And I usually have to shut it off, and then it gets cold in here, so it's kind of working to my benefit that I didn't replace it yet. Let's test this before we do anything else. Make sure this is actually working still. These have a reasonable enough lead wire to them, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for this particular, because now the area where they're going to plug in is different. It's changed because the lights have changed. They're working. I don't see any bad bulbs either. Looks good to me. I think what I'll do is I'll have it kind of intersect right here. So we'll go up and over. So I'm going to feed the whole thing over like this here. Whoa, I almost fell. And this is going to take longer than it has in the past because I'm being very careful about the lights. Normally I do this without the lights and I just kind of slap it around and I can slide it back and forth and it's a little bit easier, but I don't want to mess with the lights. That project was a total nightmare. So I'm just going to leave it alone. I really think that project was one of the worst projects I've done in this house in terms of things just being excessively difficult and not cooperating. So I want this to end right about there. And the question is, will this be long enough to kind of go up into there? And I think it will be, so this might be okay. And we gotta kind of expand this out as we go. This is very cheap and sparse Garland, but it looks nice. It gets the job done. I'm actually surprised it still looks as good as it does. A lot of times the really cheap stuff, the fake needles just start to fall off after a couple of years and whatever, but this has generally been fine. It's not really, there's not a mess on the floor. It's not really shedding anything. I can't replace this at this point. There are no more incandescent garlands that I've seen anyways. So the next, if this, if and when this breaks and I can't relamp it or fix it, away like that, I'm gonna have to just get non-lit Garland and add my own lights. So this is what I was talking about on the telephone. When I said I want the Garland swinging around by the village, this is exactly what happens. That's why this has to go up before the village goes up. Otherwise I'll be swiping stuff off the village table. Now it's very important that this is even, otherwise it looks crummy. So we got to make sure we get it spaced out correctly. I think it's going to have to wrap at least 2 more times. I'm trying to think of when I did this lighting project. I know it was cold out, but I think this is the first Christmas that I've had these lights here, so it must have been like February or March of this year. It seemed like it was longer ago than that. And this is going to have to loop one more time. And this is where it gets a little flaky at the end because it usually doesn't line up properly. See, this has to This really should go all the way to here, and it's not. Get some cobwebs off of the ceiling while we're over here. This is multi-purpose. Usually do some cleaning. All right, so this is already a problem, and we just started. I think it's too close right there. I think this needs to move over. Yeah, I see there's some slack. This has to get very, very tightly wrapped, which I don't like because it's, you know, you risk breaking the lights. But if you're not very tight with it, then it's not long enough. Kind of works out that this is just long enough for the application for the most part. Okay, now it pretty much is where it needs to be, because I can take this and stick this in here like this. Is what happens. It goes in there like that. This is the most convenient spot to do because I can just stand on the table. It gets more difficult as we move to other areas. Okay, so now let's see if we can space this. I don't measure, I just do it by eye because I think it's more accurate that way, because I can't measure anything for some reason. That looks pretty good. And it looks fine with the lights being there still. Okay, that looks pretty good. The left side could push over a little more. I'll try to pull it over as much as I can, but other than that, I think that looks pretty good. What is happening here is these are getting very loose, you know, so this isn't staying up properly anymore, but oh well. Oh well. I don't know why I didn't just take the rest of the stuff off the table. Duh. Stupid. That stove sounds like it's out of pellets. Almost. The auger develops a very distinct sound. The sound changes when the hopper gets empty. Alright, that all looks good on this side. It's pretty reasonable on this side. Yeah, it seems like it's all working. So now we have to connect it. And I'm just noticing now that we have a slight problem. This should have stopped here. This is going to be a problem. Unless I can I recover a little bit of slack? Oh, I might be able to salvage this here. Okay, we're going to be okay. Well, all right, that's not too bad. I'm going to feed this over from this side, and we'll connect the two pieces with that metal thing at the start. No, this is wrong. This has to go over from this side. Okay, so now what we do is make sure we get as much slack out of this as we can. And we want this right in the middle, and then this piece will grab this. That passes through there, and then it bends back like this. And we just try to hide this like that. Okay. So this is too close. This, I'm not sure if this should go. Might have to go on the other side of the light. It needs to go like almost right where the light is. I think it's got to go on the other side of the light. Oh, we might have to move the light over a couple inches. That's fine. No, actually that might be good like that. Yeah, that's fine. It can go on the other side of it. It's close. It's really close as to where it should be, but I think we can get by with that. we'll just put it as close as possible to the light. I think will be good. Looks kind of crummy there. We gotta pull that out a little more. Might have to do that with the ladder later. Make sure we grab all these pieces up so it looks as full as it can. It already doesn't look that full to begin with. Don't want to miss any pieces of it. This other light's going to be right where it needs to pass through as well. I think it's got to go on this side of the light. Cobwebs all over that light. I gotta clean the lights. I'll clean them when I take the bulbs out. Yeah, serious slack issue over here. Nowhere near as much slack as there should be. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, that's the right number of loops. That's gonna need more water tonight. Fill it up when I fill the pellets. Probably forget to do both and go to sleep and wake up to a freezing house. Wouldn't be the first time, certainly won't be the last. You know what's even worse is a lot of times I'll leave it open when it's getting low so I don't, forget to fill it, because I'll come in and say, oh, that's open, that's not supposed to be that way, and then I'll remember. Sometimes I leave it open and then I come in and say, that shouldn't be open, and I just close it, not think anything of it. And then I still forget to put the pellets in there. This is very close. We got to get another. We need to get another inch or two out of it somehow. I try to push that one over just a touch. See if that buys anything. It's pretty tight already. Now we're not getting any slack out of that. Alright, that might be just oh, there's a stupid net. Missed it. That might be just enough to, no, it's not. I still need another inch or so. This is what I was talking about. Right here. It joins here, it should be joining here. There's our 2 inches that we need. This is all very precise. And when it's not exactly the way it should be, it doesn't work. And I know that. I never should have let that go. Sometimes if I really make these angles sharp, I can try to get another inch or two out of it. It's really all that we need. We're almost there. I think I can get a touch more out of it this way. Alright, that should do it. Okay, it's connected. Let's see, our spacing is not right though. This is too short here, and now I don't have the slack to fix it. Yeah, that needs to move over a little bit. And now it's so tight, it's hard to What? No, worked. And this could go over a little bit too. I don't really care what it looks like on the other side because I don't really stand over there to ever see it. Just interested in this side. Yeah, I could live with that. The other thing that's annoying about this fan is it's so loud. But it's loud for nothing. It's making all that noise. It's hardly moving in the ear. I think I might have a little piece I can put there just to finish it off. Alright, now let's see what we can do about the plugins. It's going to be close, but it might reach. I think we'll be okay. I think it'll reach. Even right up close, it's just not that impressive. Alright, so can we turn this? Oh shoot, that's exactly what I didn't want to happen. That's what I wanted. It might just barely be wide enough. So ideally the wires I think it's time to just cancel all this nonsense out. That will keep. This troubleshooting tag is such a waste of money. Do you really think that anybody says, oh, I can't get the lights to work? Let me see if I can call on the telephone. It's ridiculous. I can't, the telephone number probably receives like 15 calls a year and 14 of them are spam. Okay, so ideally we want this to kind of hide in behind the Garland like this as it goes up. That's pretty good. I think it'll fit, but I don't think I'm going to be able to plug it in while it's there, so I'll have to plug it in like this, and plug this in like this, and it's going to thread like this, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. That was close. That just barely fits in there. Wow. And now as we thread this in, it'll retwist back straight. How did I miss this? That was uneventful. Wow, that's a near perfect fit. Look at that. There's no slack in there at all. That's another good reason to leave them, because I always have to have at least one anyways for the wires to plug in, so it would look stupid with just one there. Okay, that's one side complete. I wonder if I can move this back to where it was. It looks very out of place like this. I don't think so that I can, but let me just try. Let's see. It's not worth having to expose the wire. I think that's better. You can see the wire a little bit more, but it was very distracting to have that light out of alignment with the others. That's fine like that. That's better. Alright, I'm going to call it there for tonight. That'll be part 1. We'll do part 2, I don't know, maybe tomorrow. It's already after midnight. I started very late on this. So, but that's what it entails to do this. This is day 2 on the Garland, but I'm going to just put it all in the same video, because there's going to be too many videos if I keep breaking everything up by day. So, we got one done yesterday. We'll do the second one today and hopefully get that third piece up there. And then now I think I might want to put another piece up there on that shelf. I've never done that before, but might as well. I have to cut this off because this is still here. The infamous troubleshooting information that I'm sure nobody uses. Does this have any important information? It's got the date code. I guess we just leave that in there. Alright, let's see if this one works. We're 3 for 3 so far with this stuff working properly. There is a lot of cobwebs up here. I can see a whole array of them right in that area there, so I think we're gonna might do some vacuuming up there first. Because otherwise the webs get all over the Garland and then that's harder to clean up. Yep, there's a lot of webs right here. I'll clean that up prior to putting this on there. The webs have been canceled. How the heck did I get this on? I like it to wrap the same way it is on the other side, so it's got to go like this. Now this light is moved way over for some reason. It's more like around here on the other side. It barely, this it's so flaky, which is frustrating because it's been redone, so it should be correct, and it's still flaky, but regardless, it's flaky, so I definitely don't want to be moving those things around. Alright, so let's make sure that this ends about halfway over. That's pretty good like that. There's our tripod kick for the video, but it doesn't matter because I'm not filming with that camera. This room is a stinking disaster. I need to finish this so I can clean up this room. You know, the lights over here are totally different than the way they are over there. And it's throwing me off in terms of how to set up the spacing. Because this one looks like it's moved over probably a good 6+ inches compared to that other one. I'm gonna have to fix that. When I take the Garland down and I clean them, you know, I'll dust them out, get the cobwebs out. We're gonna have to measure the spacing and correct it so that it's all the same. Because this is stupid to have it all cockamamie like this. But those lights look really nice. They look nice even with the Garland. Where did that stupid stool go? Was I not using that stool? I guess I was just using this chair. Now I can't tell if this needs to go on what side of the light because I'm looking at it over there and it's different. It's gonna go like that. That's probably good around there. This chair is getting kind of wobbly. I'll have to fix this chair. I guess it's going to go on the other side of this light, but it's going to end up being very close to the light. Come on. All right, that's perfect right there. Pull as much slack over as we can. It's getting hot. It's not warm in the room, actually. It's about to be very cold in the room. But I'm warm from moving around. Put on the weather shield, which is filthy. But it just plain works, and it just keeps working. This is about a ½ inch too short, but can I fix that somehow? Yes. Okay, so that middle one's got to move over And then this one's got to move over a little bit too. Which it's not really interested in doing. All right, that's pretty good like that. The spacing is totally wrong. Part of what the problem is the lights are not spaced evenly either, so it's just throwing everything off visually. This needs to move over a fair bit. And this one needs to kind of come back a little bit. I guess that's okay. Is that a light bulb that just fell out? Yeah, it was. That's a good thing I noticed that. That would have been a source of serious frustration later on in about 10 minutes. I don't like how loose that fits. It looks pretty even from this side. the heck? This is the working. No, 4 for 4 on the Garland working. The fan needs to be cleaned. Maybe I'll clean it tomorrow. That's quite a ways out still. I'm gonna get a couple more inches out of this. It's not gonna be easy because it looks pretty much lined up. I should be able to make that fit now. A very tight fit, but that's normal. Oh, jeez. A freak show, always in the video. We gotta move a bunch of these pieces down now. I don't think that one's gonna move. All right, we'll go with that. That's not too bad. All right, let's plug it in and then we'll straighten it out. Pretty good fit over here too. Those are fitting way too loose. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Can't make this stuff up. Stinking chain is caught in there. It shouldn't be a chain if I had the right thing that I can't find, but that's a whole different story that we're not even gonna go there. I bought ones that don't have chains 3 times. Try again. Okay. These lights look so nice. I wish I had done that years ago. And I wish that fan worked better because that looks really cool in here. But it doesn't. Yeah, plug-in method is pretty discreet. That's the best we're gonna get. Oh no. That side's not working. Well, let's hope that it's just something loose within the plug here. Really? Okay, good, it is. It's just something loose in the plug. Oh, there's a burnt out bulb here. Let's get that changed. Huh. That's the wrong wattage. Or that could be the wrong voltage of these 3.5. See, now I need that information now. What is the voltage of these bulbs? These might be 0.24 amps, 28 watts, 3.5 volt bulbs. Yeah, that's a 2.5. So, do I have any 3.5 volt bulbs? I do, but not in the room here. Well, we'll have to revisit that. This is better, but it's still not correct. We'll revisit it. At least it's not a full outage. Did I hear that plug fall? I did. Okay, so that's the Garland on the beams. The spacing's not 100% in that area, but it's, I think the lights being not the same is also throwing it off, so it is what it is. It looks nice. Okay, now for this piece, which is a little bit more difficult because we got to pull all this stuff out of here to get to it. But it will still be easier than last year trying to do it with the tree in the way. I just fixed this today, and I am totally elated by how this came out. This is amazing. It looks exactly the way I remember it. If I didn't know this was broken before, I don't think I ever would have known. It just came out absolutely perfect. Super happy with that. This has to get moved anyways. It ends up going over there, but I got to clear that out first before this can go over there. So I think I might just push it back a little bit. This gets more and more difficult to move every year. And these stinking roots are totally out of control here. I guess this needs a bigger pot. Oh man, this thing is heavy. Did that bust out the bottom? If that's the case, that's not good. No, okay. Cancel out these leaves. They are spoiled. I keep wanting to try to root this so I don't cut these off because I want to put this in water and kind of see if it'll grow a whole new piece, but because this is just getting too big, I gotta split this up. And this is totally out of control. If I probably just, I don't know, if I could just put that in dirt as it is, if that's enough root to start, I'm not sure. This has to go somewhere else as well. I don't know why this keeps drying out like that. It's very annoying. I repotted this and everything. It's got plenty of sunlight, plenty of water, and it still keeps shedding the bottom branches. It's plenty happy there. It's putting out all this new growth, but it just abandons what's on the bottom. I don't know why it does that. I don't need the shades closed right now. There's a lot of cobwebs here. We're going to do a vacuuming up top. We'll do a vacuuming on here. We'll do a vacuuming down below. And then we'll put the Garland up. Got some nice beans coming here. It's going to lower this way down for now. Hope that doesn't run out. There's the wire for the street light. There are both artificial and real pine needles up here. Good, now we're not going to freeze tonight. Yeah, it's getting pretty cold. It's only 30, but see, it's still fairly warm inside because it's not windy, even though I had the stove down low. The wind makes such a big difference. That's why it's so annoying that it's been so windy lately, because it just causes so much additional usage of the fuel. Okay. So I don't remember exactly how I did this last year. I just remember it being a royal pain in the neck. But the tree was also in the way, which of course made it even worse. So hopefully this is more easier because the tree's not in the way. It's in small sections? That's not what I was expecting. Okay then. That's just not what I was expecting. I wonder if it would make sense to try to get the lights up first and then put the garland afterwards. Well, let's get it plugged in first. And let's check to make sure that it's working. It probably is, because these are usually reliable, but it wouldn't be the first time that something reliable breaks. It's working properly. Well, I think that the easiest thing to do might be to put the lights up first and then put the garland up following. Especially because the garland's in sections. You know, I can coil up the lights and distribute them as we go. And then I should be able to put the garland up, you know, in pieces like this. That's not that bad. So maybe this was only difficult last year because the tree was in the way. I could certainly see that being the case. I thought about doing the tree in these lights. I tried a section of it one year and it was literally too bright. It was just blinding, which makes sense. I mean, it literally turns into like a 3,500 watt light bulb. It's ridiculous. We gotta do something with that wire so that it can't go flying off and then take everything else with it. That's exactly what it's gonna do. I don't normally like to jam wires in places, but I think I'm just gonna kind of jam it in the corner like that. It's pretty secure that way. Okay, so now let's put the lights. This was pretty dirty up here, but it's good now. That's the wire for the street light. Who the heck knows how that's routed? I don't even want to know. I did not put that in, so it's of questionable safety. It would be nice to have this on the same switch as the regular lights, but the problem is this is a 175 watt string. I could run a cord over to that other light and stick it in there, but I think it's too much power for one socket. So I don't know how the track, mechanism and whatever interfaces. Oh, really? Why did this have to do that? It seems like it's a little bit too long. I suppose we could easily enough just unscrew a couple bulbs. Yep, this is definitely too long. Okay. Well, that wasn't too bad, but I guess that's probably the easy part. Well, the Garland, it should be manageable with these small sections. Yeah, that's a pretty cool lighting effect, even just for the regular time. I'll have to keep that in mind. Oh, for heaven's sakes. These need to be cleaned. This string must have been used when I used those stupid ultrasonic humidifiers that made a mess over the entire house. I'm never using that trash again. I would rather it be drier than the desert in the house than use a stupid ultrasonic humidifier. Those are such a stupid invention, and I hate them. They're garbage. And I'm not the only one. My aunt and uncle bought one without knowing any better. And my aunt says, "Oh, there's dust all over the house. I gotta clean the house every day." Yep, me too. And never, ever again will I use that trash. Never. Stupid foggy mess on everything, all over the windows, the fans, every single Christmas I had to manually clean every single Christmas light on that tree after that year. And it was always getting over the tables, it was over the computer screens, it was on the television set. It was just everywhere. It was absolutely everywhere, and it was ludicrous. Totally stupid and dumb. Oh, there's some cobwebs up here. Alright, I'll have to clean those off later. Anyways, let's put the Garland up. This is pretty cheap Garland. This seems to be about the same as what's on the beams. Stupid ultrasonic humidifiers. Why the heck would you want to use something like that that makes a mess? Stupid. I hate those things. I hate ultrasonic humidifiers. They serve no purpose to me. They're completely worthless. I'm getting so annoyed just thinking about those stupid dumb things. I don't even remember what I did with those pieces of garbage. I think I actually canceled them out. I was so upset about it. I don't cancel anything out. Okay, now I understand why this was a pain in the neck last year. It doesn't lay flat. It's like a stupid ultrasonic humidifier. Oh yeah, this is annoying. This is definitely annoying. Now it's all coming back. But what's not coming back and will never ever come back to this household is stupid ultrasonic humidifiers. Those things can go fart in a bag. I despise ultrasonic humidifiers. Can't even hear them. Is that going to be a problem that it's all up like this? That's probably not noticeable from ground level. No, it's really not. It doesn't matter that it's all cockamamie. It's not really noticeable. Add it to our list of testing phrases. The ultrasonic humidifier coated every crevice in the house with a stupid white powder. You know, I remember reading some comments on the computer about people saying that those humidifiers did that, and I figured those people were exaggerating. Oh no. Those people were not exaggerating in the slightest. Those people were telling the full-on truth. No lies to be had. Those stupid, dumb ultrasonic humidifiers were just as bad as all those people said. Just as dusty and stupid, white, powdery dust, fine particle garbage as they said it was. I hate those things. Such a dumb product. Should be banned. Banned for being stupid and dumb. Should go back to evaporative humidifiers and the ones that boil the water because they don't leave white, stupid white powder everywhere. It looked like someone went around the house with a bag of powdered sugar and just or flour, and it just exploded everywhere. It was awful. What a mess. You know, that's probably what that film was on top of here. I bet it was that stupid film from those stupid humidifiers. That's exactly what it was. Gosh, I hate those things. I don't know if I'm just focusing on the stupid ultrasonic humidifiers or if this actually isn't that bad, but I'm not finding this to be particularly difficult anymore. I think I might just be distracted by my frustration with those stupid humidifiers. I hate those dumb things. I think I'd rather look at an LED flicker than mist coming out of a stupid ultrasonic humidifier. Now I gotta clean every single one of these stinking bulbs that are not flickering because they got a stupid white film powder on them from some stupid humidifier. Stupid ultrasonic humidifier. I've used evaporator humidifiers for years and never had a problem. Using it again this year with no problem. And never using a stupid ultrasonic again. Ever. Hate ultrasonic humidifiers. They're worthless garbage. Sometimes I see that trash at the thrift store. I never buy them. Not even a vintage one I wouldn't buy. I hate the vintage ones too. I hate them all, modern and vintage. I especially hate the modern ones. At least the vintage ones are probably better quality, but I really hate them all in general. I actually have a vintage one. I'll never use it, but I got it from a relative who's no longer with us. It's an old, like, 90s model. So I keep it because it has some sentimental value, but probably never use it beyond just to test it for a couple seconds out, you know, for the video. And I'll probably even test it outside. I'm gonna pull this, should I pull this over or push it back? A candle goes here, so this needs to be not right there. I think I'll try to push it back this way maybe. There's plenty of length, we have no issue with length. Yeah, that's gonna push it all the way over like that. This way I can put the candle here and it's not in the way of the lights. I think I did that for the first time last year. Excellent edition, looks really nice. Looks a lot nicer than a stupid ultrasonic humidifier. Hate those dumb things. I think that might be my single most hated small appliance category. Come on, buddy, keep it together for a few more minutes. We're almost done. Oh, gosh. Stressing myself out over these stupid ultrasonic humidifiers. The heck is this? This is as dumb as an ultrasonic humidifier. Why is this all? There's all this extra space here. Better move this back because I'll need that to clean off the stupid ultrasonic dust. Okay, so it is annoying to get this up here for the first time, but once it's up here, it's not that bad. If it wasn't coated in stupid ultrasonic dust, it would be going a little bit faster. But no, it's coated in ultrasonic dust from a stupid ultrasonic humidifier. piece of garbage. Transition is getting a little dodgy here. Not really a good way to connect these. Actually, that's capped. There is a way to connect it. I can just stick this in there like that. Oh, it just occurred to me that the vacuum is now full of that ultra stupid dust trash. It probably clogged up the bag because it's so fine. Great. Well, there goes another vacuum bag thanks to stupid ultrasonic humidifiers. The dumb product category. This Garland is really cheap. Look at all this stuff this is falling off of it. I don't think that the Garland on the beams is anywhere near as bad as this. But this is still better than a stupid ultrasonic humidifier. Look at this. What a mess. What a stinking mess. You know, the thing about it too is it was gradual, so like I didn't notice it overnight, but after a couple of weeks of using those things, it was just like, holy cow, it was making the place filthy. This Garland is making the place pretty filthy too, but at least it looks nice. Unlike a stupid ultrasonic humidifier. All this talk about humidifiers is starting to feel really dry in here. I'm going to turn this non-ultrasonic one on, which will not make stupid white dust everywhere. It'll just humidify like it's supposed to, not make a complete mess. I moved this stool over too much. Huh, look at all the stupid ultrasonic humidifiers. that because there's so much ultrasonic dust that this doesn't even fit on here anymore. All right, there it goes. Good. Why is this flashing? Is it not making a good connection because there's so much ultrasonic dust inside the contacts? Oh look, more ultrasonic dust. Alright, I think I got all the stupid ultrasonic dust off these lights. Fortunately, they'll never see that type of dust again because I will never use that type of stupid piece of garbage, worthless humidifier in this household, ever. They are banned from this house. I don't think we need this one either. I think it's just going to end with this. Alright, I think that's good. Yeah, I'm content with that. Okay, so that's a wrap for the Garland. We got all the Garland up in here. Got the Garland up on the walls, got the Garland up on the beams, and now tomorrow I'll clean up this room. We'll replace the ceiling fan, and then I'll take the bulbs out of the lights. And then we'll be ready for the main tree. Hate ultrasonic humidifiers.